Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Say It with Taro podcast. I'm your host, Janet Boyer, author of the books Back in Time Tarot, Tarot in Reverse, and Naked Tarot. I'm also the co creator of the Coffee Tarot deck and the Snowland deck that I made with my artist husband, Ron Boyer. Today, I'd like to talk about the four elements within tarot and why they matter. First of all, it is what undergirds the minor arcana. We have the water suit that is associated with cups, the fire suit that is associated with wands, the earth suit that's associated with pentacles, also known as coins, and the air suit, which is associated with swords. Now, depending upon the deck, you will see them called different things. Some call the wands or fire suit staves or batons. So it really depends on the deck, but the most frequent association you'll see is usually cups for water, fire for wands, earth for pentacles, coins, or coins, either one, and air for swords. Now, the reason why it's important to understand the four elements and get a feel for them is it will help you understand the energy of the minor arcana. Sometimes people have no problems with interpreting the major arcana, but they have some trouble when it comes to the minor arcana. So the thing to remember about the four elements in the minor arcana is they tend to reflect day-to-day living, things that are more transient and more in the earth realm. Whereas the major, and what I mean by earth realm, I don't mean in the sense of the element, but I mean like down to earth, the things that happen to us every day. And whereas the major arcana sometimes are those overreaching patterns, those big turning points, or those big lessons that we need to recognize in our life and in the patterns that we're living. And so let's go over the cups suit first. And as you're able to feel and get a sense for each of the elements, it will help aid you in interpreting the minor arcana, especially if you're going to add numerology to the interpretations. But you don't even need to do that, just to get the feel, the gist, the implications of each will help you understand the suit as a whole, but then also the individual cards when they come up. Now, the cup suit that is often associated with the element of water, it usually governs the realm of love and aesthetics, values, and moods. It's intangible feeling type of stuff. The energy is feminine and receptive, and in our Snowland deck, we call this the emoting suit. The reason why I consider it feminine and passive in nature is because it's a symbol that usually connects it with a receptacle for liquids and fluids. So a lot of times you'll see cups and chalices and things like that with that suit. The cups connects with relationships, intuition, feelings, empathy, dreams, the unconscious or subconscious, psychic phenomena, romance, intimacy, joy, forgiveness, healing, succor, and matters of the heart. The energy is of a slower nature with the cups and the water. It's a steeping, stewing type of energy. In ancient Tarot of Marseille style decks, the cups were associated with the clergy. Now, the chakra I most associate with the cups, and I'll talk deeper about this in a future podcast, is the heart chakra, the fourth chakra, because it deals with the heart and forgiveness and relationships and things like that. Now, the wand suit, which I associate with fire, is, a very energetic energy. It usually correlates to ambition, self-propulsion, passion, enthusiasm, and vocation, or a sense of calling. This energy is more masculine and active. It also connects with things like energy and enthusiasm and courage and gumption and career as opposed to actual job, which I associate with the earth suit, coins, and pentacles. And it's more of a vocational type of energy and career. And also, I connect the wands or fire element with anything with the word self in it, like self-starter, self-esteem, self-propelled, self-possessed. The energy is faster in nature. It's sudden, it's sometimes explosive. In ancient Tarot Marseille decks, the wand suit was associated with the peasant class. Now, I associate this with the solar plexus chakra, the third chakra in the belly button, because that is often the place of self-esteem and personal power. Now, the earth energy, the earth element, this usually refers to the material realm of health, your body, food, resources, finances, and the environment in general. And its energy is more feminine and receptive as well. It often associates with, as I said, material possessions, but also money, your actual job, anatomy, land, home, and environment. And its energy is of a slower nature because it's more cautious and methodical. In the Tarot of Marseille tradition, the earth suit or the pentacles was associated with the merchant class, which is no surprise because willing, dealing, and the money. And lastly, we have the swords or the air element. Now, this is a mental realm of decision, analysis, facts, discrimination, and communication. This is also a masculine active energy. When you usually see the aces of the wands and the swords, they're phallic in nature, so that's a helpful way to remember the suits and that energy. And they connect, the air element connects to the intellectual realm. So that's anything with thoughts, beliefs, judgments, assumptions, clarity of ideas, opinions, logic, data, and so on. Many people believe in the self-help movement that it's thoughts that cause suffering, not the situations themselves, which is interesting. And that's why the swords or the air element in general is often associated with arguments, hostility, anxiety, and even injury and suffering. Interestingly, in the Tarot Marseille style decks, the sword suit or air was associated with nobility. And I associate the sword suit with the fifth chakra, which is your throat or self-expression because of words, and the third eye, which is a sense of vision. I didn't share the chakras for the earth element, but those I associate with the root and the sacrum, the first and second, because this deals with our sense of well-being and possessions. So the first chakra of tribalism and the second chakra of possessions and sexuality sometimes, and push and pull and survival instincts I associate with the earth element. And again, then when we go to the air element, I associate those chakras, the chakras of the third eye, vision, because that's the thought and intellectual realm. That would be the sixth chakra. And the throat chakra, number 5, because of words and communication, which is also sword suit. So if we were going to go into order, the earth element is the first 2 chakras. First chakra, rootedness, tribalness, us versus them, belonging home. And the second chakra with some competitiveness and some financial tugging and things like that. Associate the fire element with the third chakra, the solar plexus, because that is the root of personal power and the fire in the belly, so to speak. I associate with the water suit the 5th chakra, which is heart, and relationships and forgiveness and all that encompasses. And the air element, finally, I associate again with the 5th chakra, which is self-expression and communication. That's in the throat area, and the chakra above it, the 6th chakra, which is also known as the third eye or brow chakra, which is where thoughts, visions, and a lot of the intellectual realm occurs. So this is a brief overview of the 4 elements and how they govern the minor arcana suits in tarot, once you get a feel for these, you really ponder. I really encourage you to really think about the four suits. Take some time to think about each of the elements and make associations with them, and ask yourself how you feel about them, and the kind of things that you would associate with them. And then you can bring that knowledge and that feeling to the interpretation of a tarot reading, whether you're doing a reading for others or you're just doing it for yourself, for self-development growth. Then you can really understand and go deeper with the minor arcana, because even though they deal with everyday things, they're not by no means shallow. Because let's face it, that's where we live here on earth. We live in this dualistic earth of, we get up, go to work, go to school, or do our thing. We have relationships, we have our creativity, we have our vocation, our callings, our personal passions, our volunteerism. We have those we love, our pets, our spouses, our children, our neighbors, and it's all encompassed by these four elements: our work, our finances, the banking system, our traveling. I mean, literally, you can follow anything under these four elements. And so while they're everyday in occurrence and they're rather routine, they are by no means shallow. They make up most of the deck. In fact, I mean, it's kind of like the equivalent of a poker deck, the 52, minor arcana. I mean, there's only 22 major arcana, but the majority of the deck is where we live, the everyday things, whether it's taking care of our finances, balancing the checkbook, or trying to, look for a purpose in life or a sense of meaning, which would be more fire, or the cups, our creativity, our feelings, how we interact with others, how it makes us feel. And lastly, our opinions, our assumptions, our beliefs, which would be the air realm. And you could get really fun with this. In my book, Naked Tarot, my last book, I associate a lot of things with the four elements and have a lot of fun with it. I associate theme songs, colors, the four humors, Jungian functions, seasons, music genres, fiction genres, painters, food. I even associate the 100-acre wood denizens with the four elements: retro TV, instruments, animals. You can have a lot of fun. Like, for example, Star Trek races, the Earth suit would be the Ferengi, those materialistic son of a guns, who, have big ears and they get stimulated by them. Again, a body part, anatomy. The fire suit would be the Klingons, who are always itching for a fight, and who think that every day's a good day to die. The water would be the Betazoids, like Deanna Troy, who are empathic and they can read the feelings of others. And lastly, air would be Vulcans, like Spock. It's all about logic and the logical thing to do. And, it's amazing how you can correlate the four elements with just, about anything in life. And that will help you understand tarot cards in the context of tarot readings, and make them more rich. Even Hogwarts houses. Earth would be Hufflepuff. Water would be Slytherin. It's a water, suit. Fire would be Gryffindor, and air would be Ravenclaw, the intellectuals. So as you can see, you can associate those four elements with just about anything. And so I really would like for you to ponder the four elements and then translate those to the minor arcana. Like, okay, so we got the water suit. What is an ace of water, or an ace of cups then? What is a two of cups? And if you're not yet into numerology, like I said, we'll go into that in the future if you're not familiar, but look at the imagery. What is it to have one cup? What does it mean to have two or three or four? What is the image in your deck showing you about that? And how does it connect to that suit, to that element that we had discussed? How are the water cards connected to relationships and feelings and intuitions and aesthetics and values? How are the fire cards, the wands, associated with gumption and energy, sometimes anger, and being proactive and self-starting and self-propelling? How do the wands cards connect with that element? Then we go to the earth. How are the pentacles or coin suit associated with that earth element? What does it mean to have an ace of coins, or a two of pentacles, or a three or four? How is that connected to the image that you see? in your particular deck that you're using. And lastly, what about the air suit? How is the swords connecting to thoughts or emotions or assumptions or arguments or belief systems, underlying belief systems, or hostilities or clashes, or even fears, you know? So, think deeply about the four elements. There's a lot more that meets the eye with them, and I hope that this helps enhance your understanding of tarot and your tarot readings. And if you have any questions or feedback, please feel free to leave that on my YouTube channel where this podcast is being hosted. So thank you once again for joining me with the Say It with Tarot podcast. I'm Janet Boyer, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.